Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Welcome to the South River Board of Education's regular meeting of Thursday, August 19th, 2021. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On August 4th, 2021, the notice was delivered to the office of the South River Borough Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. On August 4th, 2021, the notice was faxed, mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune, Sentinel. On August 4th, 2021, the notice was posted at the South River Borough Clerk's office. Mr. Parton, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bazak.
Mr. Bazak has been excused.
Mr. Budson.
Here.
Mrs. Bush.
Mrs. Bush has been excused.
Ms. Byrne.
Here.
Ms. Lau.
Here.
Mr. Nielsen.
Here.
Mr. Rosenthal.
Mr. Rashitar has been excused.
Ms. Sadowski.
Here.
Mrs. Urbanek.
Here.
Ms. Costa.
Ms. Costa has been excused. Thank you. We have a quorum. Okay, the first item on the agenda are the minutes of the November 23rd, 2020, August 26th, 2021, June 24th, 2021 revised regular meeting minutes, the July 19th, 2021 pre-meeting minutes, and the July 22nd, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Board members, what's your pleasure on the minutes?
Move the minutes is read.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mr. Budson. Are there any questions, comments, or edits?
You said August and it's April.
April, yes I did. Thank you
Okay.
very much for that correction. I'm thinking of this month, so instead of
Okay.
August 26, 2021, make that April 26, 2021. There are no others. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Use of facilities. We have the same use of facilities on our board, on our agenda as we did on Monday night, South River Recreation, end of summer fireworks and festival, and the South River Booster Club to use the high school cafeteria, kitchen, and concession stand. Board members, what is your pleasure on the use of facilities?
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Lell. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries. Next order of business is our financial report. Ms. Lell.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report, which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for June 2021 be approved, and I so move.
Motion by Ms. Lell.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this point in time, we are going to go to our Superintendent of Schools, Superintendent Zurcher, for her report.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbanek. I'd like to begin with our reopening efforts. We are going to reopen the 21-22 school year with the utmost level of normalcy. That is a message that I've been given to our staff and our teachers. I met with their association leadership this week. We discussed that as well. We are opening with the utmost level of normalcy. We want to make this as close to a pre-COVID school year as we possibly can. We will be ready, we will be prepared in the event that we have to revise those plans. But as of now, we are moving forward full-time, in person for all of our South River School students. Please be sure to definitely check our district website There's an important message going out in our email tomorrow about travel restrictions and what currently exists in the guidance from the CDC. We know it's the end of summer, we know our families are traveling, we know our staff is traveling, but please check those guidelines carefully so that we're all coming back to school safely. Please check our social media pages for updates as well. We're going to be putting out more and more information as we get closer to the reopening of schools. As you're likely aware, on August 9th, Executive Order 251 went into effect. The governor's order requires that masks be worn by vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals while indoors in schools, which is why we're wearing them this evening here in our boardroom. The exceptions to the mandate include conditions of extreme heat. This is not usually applicable to our schools. All of our facilities are air conditioned, thank goodness. We do get some more days in September, but we'll make those adjustments if needed. Or a documented medical condition, that is one of the other exceptions in the governor's executive order. If you have such a circumstance, please make sure you're contacting either your school principal or the nurse at your child's school. Additionally, we want to remind parents that virtual instruction is not an option for the 21-22 school year. Therefore, all of our students are expected to return for an in-person program on September 9th, and we look forward to having them in school. Virtual instruction will only apply in limited circumstances requiring the students need to quarantine due to a COVID-related matter that has been evaluated by our district administration. So if there's some sort of circumstance that warrants a quarantine, our nurses and our administrative team will make those determinations, will communicate with families, and a plan will go into effect so that there's no interruption to the student learning. Okay, let's see what else we have. Our teachers are ready, our buildings are getting ready. This week is the last week of our summer program, and so therefore our custodians are now getting in there to all of those spaces we've been using all summer to get them ready and cleaned up for the start of school. We realize, of course, that there are many varying needs for our children, so again, we encourage you to communicate those needs to our building principals, to your child's teachers. We have increased support staff, mental health services, and supervision, just because we know our children are transitioning back to a very different instructional environment this year. The district has hired an additional behaviorist, an additional social worker. We've expanded our services with effective school solutions for mental health as well. So please take advantage of all of those resources and let us know how we can help and how we can make this experience the best. We will also continue to have COVID testing in the district. So if you have a need for quick and easy access to COVID testing, we have that available for our families. Please let us know. And really just making it a safe and healthy, good academic year for our students. I also want to report tonight on our district goals for the 2021 school year. This is our final report on those goals as we start to get ready for the upcoming goals for the 21-22 school year. You will see in the 21-22 school year that a lot of what's in those goals is reflecting our need to transition back to our in-person environment and everything that's associated with that. But for the 2021 school year, we really focused on communication methods, getting a lot of information out to parents, getting it out to parents in a way that is easy and accessible. We've been doing a lot with just a single flyer, with just as few words as we can to get you the information quickly and effectively. We also focused on changing some of our procedures, updating some of our policies, ensuring we have some equitable practices for all of our students. We had our disproportionality committee initiated this year, also for that purpose. And we've already set the dates of the meetings for the upcoming year for that committee. Those have already been shared with the committee members. We are partnering with Monmouth University this year for the disproportionality committee, and really running a program with some of their experts to support our efforts. So that should be a really good experience. We allocated grants and funds towards the many necessary COVID-related PPE and equipment to keep our students and staff safe. And while last year proved to be a challenging year, we were really able to implement many actions related to our district goals. We were still able to plan new programs for the upcoming year, still added to our course selection for our high school, still managed to graduate our students and have them perform well and successfully, and still we were able to move the district forward even though we had a very, very challenging year. And finally, in my report, there are some important dates. These same dates are going to be in the ERAM tomorrow. Those are the dates of orientation. And also August 19th, this is what all of our parents and kids wait for when they are pre-K to 5. They will get the name of their teacher and their parent letter. This is something I know our kids check their mailbox for every day. August 25th, Parent Access is going to open for parents and our middle and high school students, so be on the lookout for that. And also know that all of our parents have to do their back to school forms through Genesis, through Parent Access, and that is the only way that your child's schedule will open. So please take a look at those forms carefully, and please make sure that you read them thoroughly, sign off on them, and then you will have access to your child's schedule and information in Parent Access. And so concludes my report.
Thank you, very
Very good.
comprehensive. Is there a motion on the superintendent's?
Nielsen, move the superintendent's report as read.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Byrne. Are there any questions or comments on that comprehensive report? I would just like to comment on the summer programs that you put in place. I can't thank you enough for doing that for our district. It kept the students engaged. It really enhanced their learning since all their learning was virtual last year. The programs that you did put in place, just really can't say enough about. Your hard work is definitely evident, and I guess the fact that we don't have an audience tonight to come and complain, but the other thing is also thank you very much for doing all the work that you did and helping the board and the district meet their goals for 2020 and 2021. A lot of work went into that. So thank you. Are there any other comments that would like to be made? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the superintendent's report passes. At this time, we are going to have our first reception of visitors. The public may address agenda items only. There will be a portion at the end of the meeting for another public session. Please state your name and address. Please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. And we will ask for it once. We'll ask for it twice. And the third time, we will now close the public portion. Under the president of the board, we have a consent resolution. Mr. Parton, would you please read those items for us?
Yes, the South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at any one time. And whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by said Board of Education in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. Buildings and grounds, items 7.1, finance, items 8.1 through 8.18, instruction, items 9.1 through 9.8, negotiations, items 10.1, policy of legislation, item 11.1, human resources, items 12.1 through 12.40, and safety and risk management, item 13.1.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the consent resolution?
Nielsen.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, and is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Budzen. Are there any questions or any abstentions on any of the items under the consent resolution? Okay, seeing none, Mr. Parton, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Budson,
Yes.
Ms. Byrne,
Yes.
Mrs. Lau,
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen,
Yes.
Ms. Sadowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Urbaniak.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes. Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to our committee reports, starting with athletics and extracurricular. Mr. Budzen, please.
There's nothing on the agenda for this month.
Thank you. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Nielsen.
We have one item, it's 7.1 is to approve donation to St. Mark Christian Academy. That's where the old Corpus Christi used to be. And it's just some old filing cabinets and desk chairs that we're going to be donating to them so they can get their school year underway. That's all I have for that. And there's also the acknowledgement from Mr. Bellagio on what the crew has been doing, the general maintenance of the school. And now with fall sports in full swing, they're up there keeping the soccer fields and the cross-country track cut and back, and so the kids in the football stadium up. And work on the track is progressing on schedule, popular to contrary belief. So as you can see by tonight, we've approved that the use for the borough to have their fireworks display. So you know, there's guidelines have been set in that no one can be on the track, but it's going to be there for everybody to see on that night, and hopefully they'll like it. That'll be it for tonight, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Finance, Ms. Lowe.
Thank you, Madam President. 8.1 through 8.13 were reviewed at Monday night's meeting. I would like to start with 8.14, which is addition approved contract thinkcirca.com Inc. for the literacy program services 21-22 school year. 8.15 addition approved contract Tom Stetcher and Associates Workshop Service Provider for the 21-22 school year. 8.16 addition approved contract Curriculum Associates LLC. That's the iReady Learning Program services that we use for the 21-22 school year. 8.17 addition approved contract Delta TP North Jersey Inc. for substitute nurse services for the 21-22 school year. And the last item is 8.18, which is addition approved contract Wilson Language Training Corporation. It's a workshop service provider for the 21-22 school year.
Thank you. And would you please continue on with our instruction committee report?
Similarly, 9.1 through 9.4 were read on Monday. 9.5 is addition approved the 21-22 district professional development plan. 9.6 is addition approved curriculum guides. 9.7 addition approved 21-22 comprehensive substance abuse program. And 9.8 is addition approved the donation of backpacks and school supplies. And having said that, I'd like to speak to Dr. Trevisano's report, which is what Ms. Bush does when she's present, and mention a couple of highlights, one of them being how we had a welcome of over 20 new staff members, and orientation is going to take place next week. He also discussed the curriculum guides, which were extensive, that we approved, and a lot of work went into them over the course of the summer. And in speaking of programs, which you had mentioned earlier, it was great because he noted 101 courses earned passing grades for our students so that they can enter the 21-22 school year meeting graduation requirements that they need. And then he will further look into the data. So English, math, science, and social studies were the courses that were covered. And so concludes the information that I'd like to share.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to note that, yeah, we do have 20 new staff members that are coming to South River. We've become an attraction school, and that's thanks to our superintendent, a lot of the committees that we have here in place that do good negotiations, good policy, and we have 20 new staff members who chose to come to teach in South River School District. So again, thank you to everyone involved. The next report is negotiation. We do have an addition since Monday, and that is the SREA sidebar agreement for high school lunch activity. On to policy and legislation, Mr. Budzen.
There's one item approved on first reading, revised policy 3512, COVEC considerations. That's all we had.
Thank you. Human Resources, Mr. Nielsen.
Thank you, Madam President. We have 3 revisions tonight. That'll be 12.16, 21, and 27, and we have 13 new ones. Let me scroll down through this. And 12.28, approve resignation for retirement, Patricia Pincos, LDTC. 29, addition, approve resignation for retirement, Jean Marie Burrows Tiedler, elementary school special education teacher. 30, addition, approve academic remediation and enrichment staff, summer of 2021. 31, addition, approve Beth Krikuski, attendance officer, additional work hours. 32, addition, approve, appoint John Mayer, high school woodworking leave replacement teacher for the 2021-2022 school year. 33, addition, approve additional teacher leaders 2021-2022 school year. 34, addition, approve new job description, number F-39 STEM club advisor. 35, addition, approve new job description, number B-13 quarantine instructor. 36, addition, approve all teaching staff members as quarantine instructor for the 2021-2022 school year. 37, addition, approve, appoint Jonathan Lyon, high school English teacher, 2021-2022 school year. 38, addition, approve Amanda Cobb, compensation for training for certified forklift technician program. 39, addition, approve, appoint Robin Goldberg, middle school special education math leave replacement teacher, 2021-2022 school year. And 40, addition, approve, appoint Yamuna De Silva, high school business teacher for the 2021-2022 school year. And I would like to, on number 38,
Yeah.
the certified forklift technician program. You drive down with all these warehouses around us, they're looking for people who know how to operate a forklift, and they're paying good money.
Absolutely.
So, you know, for a high school senior, if he can get in that program, he or she, and they're looking for a job right out of high school, that'll be a great summer job. You know, they'll be making good money, and they'll have gotten that education here in our district. And that's, again, something we should be proud of. And that concludes my, for tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. Safety and risk management, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbanek. There's nothing new on the agenda since Monday night, but I do want to talk about the additional senior parking spaces that were required. Prior to COVID, the searcher and the Safety Risk Management Committee spoke with St. Mark's Academy about obtaining some additional parking spaces for the seniors that are going to be located in their parking lot over here on Morningside Avenue. So they have just dedicated a portion of their parking spaces to us, which is really, really nice. Mr. Parton has developed an agreement that we sent out to the seniors that are interested, that is including the process for obtaining a permit and the rules regarding the use of the parking spots. And hopefully these additional parking spaces will kind of alleviate some of the issues that have been seen in the past. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And school community relations, Ms. Byrne.
There was nothing on the agenda this time.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure there will be a lot next month when school is underway. Yeah. Our school board borough council liaison, Mr. Nielsen.
We approved the fireworks. We'll see everybody there on the 26th.
Nice. PTA liaison, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you. There's a lot of planning going on right now for the beginning of the school year, including book fairs and back to school night, and they're looking for volunteers to help out on all the PTAs. I believe the primary school is looking for a president, if anybody's interested. But that's all I know right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Our South River Public Library liaison, Mr. Goodson.
The library is ending their summer program and next week with a dance for the kids. So that's all I have.
Thank you. South River Foundation for Educational Excellence, we do not have a report, as we do not have a student board representative report this evening. Is there any old or new business to come before the board?
I have something new.
Great. Wow.
So as many of you know, the instruction committee definitely has had some discussion on this with us. The high school is moving to a unit lunch, which means that all of our students are having lunch at the same time in different locations. So we're going to start off the school year by asking people for their patience. In that regard, it's going to take a little bit for students to adjust to that. But just this week, we also found out that some of the equipment that we were counting on being here for the start of school is delayed and could be delayed until about mid-October. So that's disappointing news, but we were ready with a plan B in case that happened, which means that our high school is going to be in a grab and go, which is really what they did last year until we have that equipment. They'll still have access to a hot meal, but it's more of a grab and go option, and then they'll still eat in those locations that that we had set up. But it is a little bit of a hiccup. There's nothing we can do with the fact that the equipment is delayed in being delivered, and we're going to make the best of it. But we're asking people to just have a little patience and know that this is going to be a double transition for our high schoolers. We are overstaffed in terms of supervision, and we're prepared, but it will be a little bit different. I want to also piggyback on what Mr. Nielsen said about the track. We are 100% on schedule. The only thing that could potentially delay us is any rain or poor weather that would keep the construction team from being able to move forward to the next step in the track. So fingers crossed for good weather, and if we have that in our on our side, then we're good to go. And then I also brought with me just a bit of what the actual sample will look like, and the color that you can expect the track to be. Hopefully the striping is done by the end of the month, but if that's not the case, the striping will be done very, very shortly after. So we are ready to go in that regard. That's it.
Very good.
Thank you. That's a nice maroon colored track.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, do we have any report from our attorney at this time?
Just as the superintendent mentioned earlier, we are dealing with some changes from Trenton as far as what is required. This time we had plenty of notice from August 6th, and that was immediately transmitted to everybody by your district, which is great and puts you, as usual, ahead of a lot of other districts that didn't communicate as well or as quickly. And we're keeping our eyes out both for additional changes and to make sure that parents and guardians understand what the students' options are and what the district's responsibilities are. This Executive Order 251 is a requirement of law, and we're just working to help everybody understand what those requirements specifically are.
Thank you, Mr. Parton. This time now, it's time to pay the bills. Ms. Lowe.
Thank you. The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented having been certified by the School Business Administrator Board Secretary be paid as listed, and I so move.
Motion by Ms. Lowe,
Second.
second by Mr. Nielsen. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion passes. At this time, we are going to open up our meeting once again for the reception of visitors. The public may address any concern or comment they have for the board. Please state your name and address when you approach the microphone, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. And we will make a first call, and a second call, and a third call. We will close the public portion. We do not have any executive session tonight, so the next motion that is in order is a motion for adjournment.
Nielsen.
By Mr. Nielsen, second by Mr. Budzen. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This meeting is concluded.